Now back to the weather now, because it is a topic that generates huge interest and has its fair share of devoted followers, whether it's high winds, heat waves, snowstorms or tsunamis. The weather has given us some extraordinary stories over the years, so we've been to meet one man who's been charting the highs and lows.
I've been interested in the weather since the 1950s, but wasn't able to actually put together a proper weather station until the early 1970s when I was at Royston in Hertfordshire, and that particular weather station went for 40 odd years before I moved here to Little Paxton. This instrument here is a barograph which I bought way back in 1968 when I was 24 years of age, my first serious weather instrument. This records the air pressure. This is an amazing instrument. It has a clock drum. You take the top off and wind it up every week, and I've done that every week since 1968. Never had any lubrication, never had any servicing, and it's still going. Going back to the 1970s, nearly all observations were manually made. That later developed with the addition of some automatic equipment, having a mast on the side of the house, anemometer and wind vane on the roof. Every morning at 0900 hours GMT, I venture out into the garden where the Stevenson screen is and take the manual observations of temperature, humidity, rain. And then in the evening at 9 o'clock, I also do a similar thing. When I heard about eunice coming, as a weather observer, it looked as though it would be an interesting time to see whether any records were broken. The highest gust here has been 51 miles per hour. Significantly, this is the highest gust I have recorded in the last 9 years at Little Paxton. The ones that stick in my mind mainly are 1987.
Counting the cost after the worst storms on record.
The A505 through Royston then was covered in trees which had been blown down. The gale of the 2nd of January 1976. Now that particular gale was memorable in that the power lines in the Royston area were arcing, and the whole countryside was bathed in bright flashes of light. It's quite a sight, something I've never seen before or seen since.
Fascinating. Well, let's